And when you do call in, just be aware that you don't have to hurry and think of conversation. I'm the queen of silence. I'm so happy to let things drift off into silence. I forget that I'm kind of in silence anyway, that you're talking or not talking. Don't think that you have to impress me or entertain me or sound good for anyone. There's no one you need to sound good for. I just do an introduction first. I can see some people are calling already. Just let me do an intro. So there's two things happening in this talk. I'm talking about non-duality, and then I'm also talking about tidying the cage as well. I always swore off talking about tidying the cage, but so many people come here just wanting to tidy the cage a bit. They don't really want to wake up. They don't really want to lose everything. They just want to be happy enough to do their daily activities without it being stressful. And for those people, it's not appropriate to answer with non-duality. And it's a waste of my breath, even though there can't really be a waste. Can you guys all hear me okay? I'm in one of those quiet, zony moods again. So what happens when separation happens is it's this energetic pull that happens inside the body. And there is this sucking into inside the body, and it feels like that's where you are, that you are this person. And it's not even conscious, it just feels like there's something inside here. And this something, it doesn't know it, because it's like if there's a fan on, when it's not until you switch it off you realise the release without it on. But this energy always feels agitated, like it has to get somewhere or do something. It never feels happy with what's happening. And this can be really subtle, and it's even though it's a slight form of suffering, when it's very little, it's very bearable. When there's a very little contraction there, and very little seeking, it's very life is good. You describe the body-mind mechanism as a balanced body-mind mechanism when it's like that. When there's a lot of enjoyment of what's happening, but there's still a separation, but there's less needing of things for happiness. All unhappiness, all suffering comes down to this contracted energy that then believes it has to find happiness in the flow of life. And this is all suffering. This is where suffering comes from. And the people that suffer the most are the ones that have the biggest contraction and the strongest contraction. And then when they have the strongest contraction, they're more desperate to get things. And they need things. But in a way, sometimes that contraction is so tight, it's too hard to do things. So they're kind of stuck in it. Sometimes the contraction gets really, really strong before awakening, because in a way it has to get really strong to question what it is. And it becomes really obvious. And sometimes I think that strength, that strongness of the contraction is the energy releasing in a way, or the energy changing. But there isn't really someone separate that can do anything, but there can be the movement of a seemingly separate person that's tidying its cage and it's improving things. So it improves its lifestyle, it improves its eating, it improves its conditioning, it releases emotions and relaxes into itself more. And this becomes a more happy, balanced body-mind mechanism. And that sense of separation becomes less, but it's still there. What can happen, which isn't a doing and isn't something that you can unwind to, it's mysterious how it happens, but there can be a total collapse of an inside and outside world, and then all that's left is stillness as movement. But this is a total loss of everything. It's the loss of relationship, it's the loss of you and me, it's the loss of any desire to make anything better. So all your dreams and hopes and ambitions can disappear. although they can still be doing and stuff happening, there is nothing that can complete you more than this instant. There's nobody there that needs anything. The body moves towards survival, so it moves towards eating and drinking and socializing, most probably, those sorts of basic things. But there's nothing that could give it any more than this. This is all there is. This is total freedom, but it's really radically different from being someone. What the someone's used to is always having goals, ambition, and doing things, and working towards things. And in itself, that has an element of fun to it, an element of drama to it. To be able to see yourself as something going somewhere and energetically feel that. But it also can come with great weight, because the more that you seek, the more you suffer. The more that you have that sense of seeking, the more uncomfortable you feel, because you have a greater lack, a greater sense that this isn't enough. That separate energy pulls everything in to be itself. I am this body. I am my relationships. I am my ideas. I am my love affairs. I am my actions. And it's always comparing itself to the outside world to find itself. I'm better than this person. I'm worse than this person. I love this person. And that separate self always tries to stay in thinking rather than feeling. It finds the feelings, the emotions overwhelming, and it's scared of them. So it's always trying to talk itself out of feelings and stay in the head area. The more and more this happens, the less and less happy the person becomes. And this can be undone. The separate self can seemingly undo a lot of that weight. It can't free itself to this instant, because who would be free in this instant? It can't undo itself, because who would be left? Who would be undone? In a way, you could say that part is total mystery. But while that person feels like it's in control, I'm happy to talk to that person about improving things. But my love is really talking about non-duality. And the question is who is sitting here right now? Who hears my voice? Who's looking at the screen? Who's sitting in the room? It's so radical.